Hey, and welcome to the Jessica Paul podcast. I'm your host, Jess Paul, actress, manifestation expert, and mindset coach. And I'm here to share with you all of my secrets on confidence, success, and the magic of manifestation. If you're ready to dive in deep and see more success in your career, more money in your bank account, and more love in your life with a whole new level of freedom, then you're in the right place. I'm letting loose on everything you need to take back control of your life, up-level your mindset, and tap into your manifestation powers. I'm so excited that you're here. Hey you guys, and welcome back to another week of the JP podcast and another episode in our little mini series going on at the moment, our Back to Basics mini series, where we are chatting all things manifestation and mindset from the beginning so that we can go over all of those little things that maybe we have not touched upon in a while, or maybe just not even fully understood. And for those of you that are new to my channel, hey, my name is Jess Paul. I am your spiritual bestie and your manifestation mentor, here to help you up-level your life and career and manifest the life of your dreams. So really great to have you here and back again for this week's episode. So I'm pre-recording this week's episode because I explained in last week's episode that I am here, then, everywhere and all over the place. And as I said then, go and follow me over on Instagram, because I'll be posting a few more bits and bobs over there, so you can keep up to date on my Instagram stories. But basically I've just been really playing in the 3D, really living life at the moment, and in the process manifesting lots. And I've got my head really stuck in to manifesting one specific thing in my life, and it's going to be one of those things where I'll probably talk you through the manifestation process when it manifests, because I feel it coming very quickly. I feel it coming soon for me. But yeah, so I've had my head down. I've been stuck in. I've been taking lots of action, loads of action, and I've been going out and I've been enjoying life at the same time, which is how our life should be, guys. We need to be having fun, right? So, but I'm very excited to get back into today's episode. So without further ado, let's get into episode 2 of this mini series. So in today's episode, guys, we are chatting all things affirmations. What are affirmations? How do we use them? Why do we use them? And just basically going back on what these mantras actually are. I like to call them mantras because I just feel that that's sometimes how I repeat them. It's literally on repeat all the time for me. And basically how you can start creating your own today. And again, like I said with this mini series, guys, some of you might be thinking, oh, Jess, I know what an affirmation is. For God's sake, I've been doing this work for so long. That's not the point here, guys, with this. The point is to be refreshing your mindsets. We're always learning, we're always growing, and you might want to need to be recreating some new ones for yourself at the moment, right? And just think about what you've not manifested yet. What do we want to call into our life? This is why we have to go back to these basic principles to be okay, actually, let's shift this up in my life. So what is an affirmation? Basically, it's a statement that you make in the present tense, a positive statement that you make in the present tense. I mean, you can have negative affirmations as well, right? And this is what basically I was chatting about in last week's episode in this mini series about limiting beliefs. So if you haven't already, go back and listen to that episode, guys, because I just go in deep about what limiting beliefs actually are, and I talk about your reticular activating system, which is basically what is navigating your reality and creating your reality, manifesting your reality, right? So definitely go back and listen to that episode if you haven't already. But affirmations then, guys, are these statements that you're making in the present tense, which are basically affirming a belief that you have, which then affirms a reality that you create. Because, as I've said before, the beliefs that you have shape the reality that you're living in today, okay? Because when we believe something, we then start to see it in our reality. We then our reticular activating system starts to make us see it, and then we go, oh, look, there it is. That's our proof, right? So that is true, So as I said in last week's episode, if you're believing that it's hard work to get a job as an actor, or it's hard work to make money, then what's going to happen is your reticular activating system gets involved. It starts to search for all the reasons why that is the truth, why that is correct. And then once you can see all those things in your physical reality, like, oh yeah, look, I'm not getting any auditions, or oh yeah, look, I've not made any money this month. Like, then your brain goes, okay, well, that's then the truth. And it's just this constant pattern that you go on that goes, I believe this negative thing. That negative thing has appeared in my reality because my reticular activating system has made me see it. And therefore, I'm now looking at it in my physical reality and I'm going, well, it must be the truth. So if it's the truth, then you start seeing more of it, and then you start affirming more of it, and it's just this constant never-ending cycle, right? So you can have these affirmations in the negative sense as well. If you're constantly affirming there's not enough money to go around, or it's hard work, or I'm not good enough, then that's what you're going to see. Whereas what we want to use positive affirmations for is to basically flip that all on its head. So you're going, okay, well, what is the truth that I actually want to be believing? Well, I want to believe that I am really abundant, that I make money easily, that, work is easy to find, that there's an abundance of opportunities out there as an actor, that, when you look in the mirror, that you're beautiful and sexy and all these things, right? So what we start to do is we start to turn around these limiting beliefs using positive affirmations by going, okay, if I'm going to repeat this as it's already happening, in the present tense, as though it's already happening for me, it's already a truth for me, then your reticular activating system gets involved again and starts basically positively hypnotizing you. Like I like to phrase it in this way, because I believe that so many of us are negatively hypnotized because we are conditioned. We're conditioned by our parents, by our peers, by our teachers, our guides. We're conditioned constantly every single day. And such a big part of my work is about helping you come back into your own power and go, actually, I'm not going to listen to what all these people are saying. I'm not going to listen to these bullshit beliefs that other people have and that other people have placed on me, about money and about career and about how your self-worth, and I'm going to actually just decide myself what I believe. Okay, so when you start deciding yourself what you want to believe, obviously, first of all, like I've said, is you've got to become hyper aware, which is what I was talking about in last week's episode. And once you're hyper aware, then you can start to go, okay, well, what do I want to be believing? And that's where the affirmations come in. So some examples then of these positive mantras or positive affirmations that we say to ourselves to help ourselves heal these limiting beliefs and to help ourselves start manifesting the things we actually want in life. Some examples could be, saying to yourself in the mirror, I am brave, I am sexy, I am successful, I am abundant, I am the best friend, I am, nothing can stop me, I have limitless potential. All of these things in these I am statements are so freaking powerful, because again, what it's doing in a way is it's tricking your brain to focus on the things that basically what you're saying to your brain is these are the most important things to focus on right now. And again, that kicks your reticular activating system in so that it goes, okay, well, I'm going to try and see more of that then. Where can I pick more of that out so I can prove more of that to show that it's correct? So if you're affirming to yourself, I am so abundant, or money flows to me easily, then your brain's going to be like, okay, where's the money? Where's the money? Where is it? And if you are looking for it, that's when you find it. That's when it starts manifesting in your reality. So just as an example, let's say, again, you're negatively affirming things to yourself about, as an actor, I'll just say about my acting career again. If you're negatively affirming things about your acting career, I never get any of my auditions, why is it so quiet at the moment, or my agent's not doing a good enough job, or, work is really hard, it's really hard to be noticed, and all these things, then what you're going to start doing is you're going to start not only seeing that you're getting less and less auditions, but you, like, for example, if you're on Twitter, I know a lot of actors are on Twitter, you'll start just seeing more negative tweets. Like, damn, like, it's the reason that I came off Twitter years ago, because I was like, I just keep seeing people complaining and whining and moaning, and you're just fed with more and more of that negativity because you've been affirming it to yourself, right? So I've only recently gone back on Twitter, but because my mindset is so strong now after years of doing this work, like, now I click on and it's just like all these positive things that pop up, and the negative ones, like, they do pop up, but it's like my brain doesn't notice them. My reticular activating system doesn't get involved with those ones because it goes, well, that's not the most important thing. I'm filtering out all the bullshit, right? So these affirmations, these positive affirmations, are so powerful because it's basically rewiring, retraining your brain, refocusing your brain, basically reverse engineering the limiting beliefs that you've had. And I personally like to affirm things every single day, every single second of the day. Every single time that I am ever kind of doing anything, like, let's say I'm doing a mundane task like washing up, like, I will be affirming things in my head in that moment, because your brain is always working. Like, you're always thinking about things, you're always like going over things in your mind. And if you are like kind of an anxious type of person, then, because I've been there before, like, your brain can be going at like 100 miles an hour most times. So like, it's being hyper aware and going, okay, well, what am I choosing to think about right now? What am I choosing to affirm to myself? So I like doing it in those moments where you're kind of like involved in a mundane task during the day, and I especially like to say affirmations in the morning, and like the most part, I will say them before I go to sleep. Because if you're affirming positive things to yourself before you sleep, what is also going on there is when you're sleeping, your subconscious brain kicks in, right? When you sleep, basically you quiet all thoughts. It's like you're in one big meditation, right? So that's why what you do before you go to sleep really matters. And I actually talk a lot about sleep manifestation inside my academy, because I find it a really interesting topic. But like, what you say to yourself before you sleep is so important, because that's the thing that your brain is going to be focusing on, your subconscious is going to be focusing on as you sleep. So that when you wake up in the morning, it's like you've already had like 8 hours of training, or however long you sleep for, right? You should be getting at least 7 hours sleep, right? But like, this is why these positive affirmations, and like I said, in the present tense, as though it's already happening, because it's tricking your brain in it happening now for you, and using those I am statements beforehand to really kick in that it is the truth for you. It's why all of this is so important. Now, one thing I'm going to bring up, guys, because this is just throughout my own personal experience. As I said to you, I kind of explained this in the last episode about where I was about 4 years ago, how I was in such a freaking negative mindset, how I like really had very little self-worth, and I had kind of body issues. I had, and again, like, it was all happening, and I was negatively manifesting things in my career and my relationships and all of this. Like, what I found difficult, and if this goes to those of you that are just starting out on this journey, or those of you that, no, like, not even necessarily those that are just starting out, but those of you that have come across a new shadow maybe, and you're like, okay, I need to transform this belief, and I'm finding it really fucking difficult. For me back then, it was quite literally just loving myself, right? That's what I found so difficult. Now, I had to do so much shadow work. I had to dive deep into my subconscious. I had to do a lot of inner child work. I had to clear out a lot of energy. I had to do a lot of forgiveness. And this is all of the stuff that goes on inside my academy. And this is why I built my academy, because it literally is built off the entire process I used to manifest this life that I now live today. Like, it's just total experience. So it's every one of my secrets are in there. So like, I had to do a lot of this work, really deep dive into it, to get to a point where I fully believed that I genuinely love myself, right? And here's the thing with affirmations. There is no point in saying them over and over again if you don't fucking feel it, right? There's just no point. It's like I was saying before about how your subconscious is actually controlling 95% of your life. Like, if you're only operating on that 5%, if you're not actually feeling it on that subconscious level, that 95%, you're not going to be doing anything, right? So in fact, I even say to my students, like, there's actually no point in you saying this at all. Like, if you're affirming, I love myself, like, or I am enough, or I am worthy, and you don't believe it, there's just no ounce of you in your body that actually feels that. You're actually doing the opposite. You're actually doing the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing with these affirmations, because what happens is your brain goes, I don't believe this, so where am I going to focus? Well, on the thing that I do believe, and I believe that this is bullshit, right? So you're actually being counterproductive when you do that. So the really important thing about affirmations, guys, is that you've got to feel it when you say it. There has to be feeling behind it, and the only way that you get feeling behind these positive affirmations is if you do the work beforehand, right? If you do that deep inner work, okay? Because I see this all the time, like those people online that are very surface level with manifestation, very surface level with this mindset work, and they just kind of go, oh yeah, just repeat these 5 affirmations a day and then your whole life will change. And it's like, that just isn't the case, because you're actually doing the opposite. You're actually not helping yourself in that situation. There's so much more work involved to get you to a point of actually believing what you're saying, okay? Because there's no point in saying it otherwise, right? So going off this point, one of the things that really helped me out with this when I, like 4 years ago, when I just really struggled to believe that I could love myself. So there was no point in me saying it in front of the mirror. I would affirm to myself, I'm willing to believe. And this I actually discovered from a practitioner called Louise Hay. And I read a lot of her stuff when I was going through this self-love journey all those years ago. Because I always say, guys, self-love is the foundation of your success, right? So this is work I had to do before any of the other manifestation work, right? This is just again, basics, right? This is what I learned from her, is that if you're really, really struggling to believe or feel in your body that you're worthy, and again, let's take it back to some other of these beliefs, like that you are abundant, that money does flow to you easily, that it is easy to get that acting job. Like, if you're really, really struggling to believe these things, number 1, you go back, you do that deep shadow work. Number 2, just start gently affirming to yourself. Don't make it so specific, but just gently affirm to yourself, I'm at least willing to believe this. Like, I might not believe it yet, but I'm going to give it a go, okay? And again, all that does to your brain is it takes the pressure off a little bit, and it goes, okay, well, there's no pressure for me to actually believe this right now, but what would happen if I did? Like, what could I see if I did, if I was willing to? And again, your reticular activating system does get involved in this. It goes, okay, well, if she's willing, let's see what we can pick out. Let's see what we can find here for her, right? And that's when you start to see the things in your physical reality, which then affirms it for you, which then, again, this is the positive momentum. This is the positive pattern that I talk about, where it's like, okay, well, if I'm believing that money flows to me easily, and then suddenly you start to see money coming in different directions, that then reaffirms it for yourself, and you go, okay, well, that is the truth. And then more comes, and then more comes, right? So we are constantly having to think, okay, what are we affirming to ourselves on the daily, and how can we make these positive affirmations? So to sum it up then, guys, basically your language really matters. What you say on the daily really matters, and also what other people say. Like, and this is another good point, make sure that, because we're constantly being conditioned, like, make sure that you pay attention to what other people are saying in your life. Like, if other people are affirming negative things to you, this happens so often in the creative industry. It happens so often with money, where people will just constantly affirm, oh my God, I'm so broke, or I don't have enough money. Like, I literally had this the other day. I was out with a friend and they were like, oh, that's too expensive, or, scanning we literally went out to just buy a meal deal. And they were like, looking for all the prices of things, and they were saying, and they kept mentioning these little things about money, and I had to turn around and say to them, listen, I don't want to sound harsh right now, but can you just stop talking about money in that way? Like, can you just stop talking about money altogether? Because every time you affirm a negative thing about money, you are equally putting that energy on me, and I don't want that energy in my life, right? So I can be a bit brutal with people because I'm like, well, listen, like, that is your own thing that you need to work through, but for me, I don't choose to have that around me. And obviously I say it in a nice way, but like, this is where you have to be real, boundaries come in, and you have to be really disciplined, because there's going to be so many people out there that do believe these things and believe this way of life at no fault to their own. It's just their own life experience and their own conditioning. But if you want to get in control of your life, then you have to be, again, hyper aware of what you're affirming and hyper aware of what other people are affirming, so that you can only focus on the things that you want to focus on, right? So your homework then is basically going to be to rewrite some new positive affirmations in the present tense. What do you want to be affirming? What do you want to be believing? And again, like I said, for those of you that are just starting out on this journey, that are maybe just going through this whole like self-love aspect, how can you be affirming these more self-love to yourself? Or for those of you that are trying to manifest more money, or are trying to manifest more career opportunities, or build your business, or any of these things, how can you be going deeper with your affirmations? Have you even been telling yourself affirmations recently? Have you even been doing that work? Or have you kind of done that in the past and not actually gone back to it? This is what I mean about how like this Back to Basics series is so important, because, for those of you that have been on a self-development journey for a while, do you even say your affirmations in the morning? Like, have you done that in a while? If not, go back to them, write them down, repeat, because this is what we do to reverse engineer it. This is what we do to reverse the way our reticular activating system works, so that we can call in and that the universe can bring to us the things that we want in our lives, right? So this is all about affirmations. This is how we can both negatively affirm things and positively affirm things, and how obviously we want to be focusing on the positive. So go do your homework, and I would love for you, as always, to come along, tag me over on Instagram, your biggest takeaway from this episode. Drop me a DM with your new affirmations, guys. I want to affirm them with you, and this is something that I do so much inside my academy as well, because like collective manifestation is a thing. Like, if we are affirming these things together, if I can hype you up and be your biggest cheerleader and be like, yes, let's freaking affirm that thing for you together, then that's like just adding collective energy so the universe can pick up on it and give you more, right? So drop me a DM with your new affirmations, give me a little tag over on Instagram, and I will chat to you all next week for the next episode in this Back to Basics mini series. Lots of love, guys. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who you think would love it too. And if you want to let me know how you found it, just screenshot this episode, add it to your Instagram story, and tag me at I am Jessica Paul, so that I can throw all the love right back at you. And of course, subscribe, hit those 5 stars, and leave a review to show your support and to keep the good stuff coming. Sending you so much love and gratitude from your girl Jess.